Hello, everybody. We back. Me and the Empress, we are back. This is Ra-N-Ell. Some call me Ra-N-Ell. I accept both. El Amantu Fare Haru. Full name. So tonight, or this evening, I want to get the party started back with one of the most magnificent and magnetic principles of the art of creation that I have come to know as of recent is the magnetic sphere. Now, everybody know, if you go back and you watch our previous videos, that we concentrated a lot on what was called the cosmic sphere or the cosmic egg. The goose that laid the golden egg. Well, anyone with the attributes of Ra or Ray or Atum Ray, Amun Ray, or Amun Ra, anyone with those attributes or is a descendant of that bloodline should know about the cosmic egg. Because the cosmic egg, or the goose that laid the cosmic egg, goes along with the story of Ra, if people do their research. So, me being of that descendancy, if not the reincarnation, I don't know. I'll let the elders decide all of that. However, I understand these concepts very, very, very clear. So, when I started to dive into, or we, as I like to speak, the royal we, because that's what flows to us, is all of the Netaru, all of the principles, all of the descendants, all of the ancestors. I claim them all. All in one, one in all. That is the way. So the magnetic sphere, what is this magnetic sphere? This magnetic sphere is gravity itself. The magnetic sphere is the cosmic goo or glue. The magnetic sphere is the invisible cords and strings. The magnetic sphere is the lotus flower, is the tree. The magnetic sphere is the black widow. So when you hear the term, is there any help for the son of the black widow? These are the codexes, or the code inscriptus, as the great C. Ra-N-Ell would say, the code written within the code inscriptus. This is the code inscriptus of what they're talking about, the black widow. You can see it right here in this diagram. This diagram right here is showing the Pa-Natir Ra, or any of the Netaru, in the reincarnation or the carnation or the what they call the materialization of the beingness coming forth through the magnetic sphere, moving through the ley lines or the grid lines, the invisible cords or strings, that which holds and gives path to the bird, that which holds and gives path to the proton, the electron, the positrons, the wind, that which gives guidance, birth, and path to the water, to the solar winds. So that's what we want to get into today. We want to get into this concept of the magnetic sphere, or the black widow, the great spider. If you sit here and you understand, you look at this diagram, you will see. Now I have transposed the diagram of the magnetic sphere onto the Pa-Natir Ra coming out of the lotus flower plant, so that you can see that when you go into the pose of the lotus, or the pose of the Merkaba, or the pose of the star tetrahedron, that's what you emanating. You emanating the energy or the grid lines or the magnetism or the things that would hold all things together. This great spider, this great rider, the great cosmic widow, the black widow. See, when you understand this, you understand the whole of everything, the cup. You understand what is holding this golden egg or this cosmic egg together. Because when you look through these eyes, whether it's 2 or 3, 6, 8, 24, 48 eyes, or 144 points of light, Atum Ray. When you see all these different points of light, know that within the core or the center of this cosmic egg is all things condensed. This is a process of what they call involution, not evolution. Involution is the process, is the inverse, not the reverse, not the forward, not the backwards. Inverse. Now we're talking about algebra. Algebra. Now we're talking about Ma'at, the equal sign. Libra, or the scale. Balance. We're talking about how do you get from one side of the mirror to the other side. What is the mirror? We're talking about parallel realities, parallel dimensions. We're talking about going from one side of existence to the other. We're talking about going on the other side of hydrogen. Hydrogen. Hydrogen is the first L on the periodic table. I. Or the I, or the black dot, or the I that is the dot on top of the I, which is talking about the Godhead or the crown. Some people like to say chakras. I like to use those words too, or wheels. What are we talking about? We're talking about the wheels of time, the wheels of the DNA. We're talking about the wheels of the DNA helix, the caduceus. Let's go ahead and get into some diagrams so we can start seeing a little bit more of what we're talking about. Let's go down. I got a little folder ready for us. Y'all know how we do it. Y'all know how. Let's go into just looking at this diagram by itself. Because what we're looking at right here in the center, we're looking at Earth. Right? Now, but we're looking at this spider, this great rider, this code, this on Star Wars they like to call it the Force, or they call it the midi-chlorians. But they're talking about the magnetic sphere. They're talking about the push and pull, the yin and the yang. They're talking about how does energy move? What is causing the wind, the jet stream? What is the birds using to navigate, to move within and move without? How do they do what they do? How does a magnet work? How is energy moving throughout our bodies? Because our bodies mimic these same rotations, these same axes. So if you look at this diagram, you look closer, you're going to see a rotation axis. You're going to see an arrow right there close to that red line. You see the magnetic axis. That's that tilt they're talking about, that 23-degree tilt that they always be talking about. But we call it the rod of God, the patah. As if in Tamare'e, in ancient Egypt, we used to call it patah, or the staff, or the rod of God, talking about your spine. Now your spine, and talking about your magnetic axis, what actually holds you up to allow you to walk on 2 feet? This is that spider we're talking about. Now let's get into some more of what we're talking about, this spider. Now, when you start to get into electronics and these type of energy sources, low voltage energy sources, what you're going to find out is that when you have a perfect graph of what they like to use when you're dealing with 5G, 4G, 5th dimension, 4th dimension, 3rd dimension, any of these things, this is the graph, or this is the, what was the word I would use? This is the spread or the bands of light or the bands of energy that they like to come up with to get what they call a perfect curve. Now you notice that this curve is a wing. It's a perfect wing. With this graph, you can fly. A butterfly can fly. A plane can fly. Anything can fly. And you can separate energy where someone who's receiving a signal on 4 volts can just get that information. Someone who is just tuned into 6 volt can get that information. So you see that these bands separates light, separates energy, waves, particles, all of this. Now these are things that they didn't invent this. These are the wings of Ma'at. These are the measurements of the tetrahedron or the mirror, the pyramid. This is what this is. Let's keep going. Now where did they get this from? Also, the mitochondria. Here is a picture of a mitochondria. This is inside of one. And this is showing you still the same thing. Now you see that they got a nucleus in here, and they're calling it Mercury. A dark sun. A hidden sun. Now you see, if you look at these paths, and you really look at this carefully, if you drew out all the lines, you will see the spider. You see on the right hand side, you see the wings. Or the wings of Ma'at. So you see how the energy comes back around and how it does the same thing, and how you see it says solar winds, but this is inside the mitochondria. Here's a different angle of it. Now notice that inside of the mitochondria is called the matrix. And notice that right here, what you call in the skin or the inner skin, or what they call in the inner membrane, they call it space. Now look on the left hand side, you'll see the twisted DNA helix, and you see it's DNA. But they're really like little worms or snakes. Okay? Now you see this path that is created. Now when they show you, which I just showed you at a different angle of this, when they show you how this energy is moving in and out, you're going to see the great rider or the great spider. This is cosmic. This is ethereal. This is getting into quantum. Now you're seeing where the quantum realms really come from. Now you see right here, down on the bottom towards the right, you see something say Christia. Well, you know what that's depicting. That's depicting of Christ energy. That's all that is. So you see, just looking from this diagram of the process of mitochondria, which we know that the feminine or the female has the mitochondria, or the midi-chlorians. Think about Star Wars again, the Force. Okay? So within your core cell, not just your core by your abdomen or your solar plexus, no, within every cell. And you have trillions of them. You have these matrices, or you have these cells, these mitochondria. What is called they call it the power force or source of the being, or a starship, a spaceship, a mother craft. Now, when you really get down to this and you start to package this, and you even look at it on a smaller level, and you take it to the solar level, since now we're in a sun cycle, we're going to start bringing out the knowledge of the Father, or the knowledge of the Sun, the collective Sun, the great Sun, the central Sun. Because there are billions of suns. And there are entities that are responsible for maintaining suns. They call them solar gods and goddesses, who control moons and moon cycles. Now we're getting into the knowledge or the principles of the Nataru, the nature of things. Let's keep going. So now we're going to get into, still going back to that spider, the great spider, the great writer, the great mother, the black widow. Now, you see how she spins her web. She spins her web where it goes out and it comes back to itself. Perpetual source of energy, self-sustaining. But look how far-reaching it is. Look what it's doing. Now, I'm about to show you how you can see this energy being expressed all the time. But before I do that, let's go inside of the meiosis process. This is the process before sex. We're dealing with core beingness now. We're dealing with inside the cell. We quantum. I told y'all we're not in the third or fourth dimension no more. Forget about it. We moved the whole damn space. Now you're dealing with fifth, sixth, and seventh dimensional thoughts and expansion. The mental plane. Now within the mental plane, we about to turn up. Because now we're dealing with the etherical gases, the non-ethers. Now, if y'all been following my page or following anything that we've been laying, we've been laying out of course. We've been showing y'all what's going on. Now, when you're dealing with the beginning of any cycle, you really want to start with Aries. Even though this is the Aquarian age, still, when the clock starts off, it starts with Aries, the RAM. We're dealing with RAM now. We're dealing with RAM memory, random access memory. Because this mind, this brain is a computer. When you enter this space, as if you are a solar being, which most people who listening to this are a non-ether being, then you came into this realm as a proton, as a photon, a particle of light, packaged, tight, condensed gas, the breath. So within the breath is the gas. And you're breathing it through your nose, which is a star tetrahedron. But why you ain't activating? Because you clogged up with mucus. Now look at this diagram right here. This is one cell breaking itself apart, moving, intelligence, arranging itself into molecules, into a structure. But if you see that little light path right there, really don't even pay attention to the light, because the light will fool you. The gray, the solution, the water, you can see that there are paths dug out, clear, so that one thing or particles even smaller than what we can see can move from one side to the next, go from one place to the other. That's the quantum field you're looking at. This is quantum. Quantum means that it's the triune is involved. Let's look at it. Let's look at it. Let me go to my Dropbox. We're going to get into some more stuff right quick. Let's look at this. Are these the images I just uploaded some images. Hold on. Where'd it go? Here it go, right here. Let's see. How do I move that today? I just uploaded a bunch of images that I wanted for this, and I didn't have time to download them. Boy, these computers can act strange, can't they? Camera uploads. Here they go. Here we go. Give me 1 second, y'all, so I can get to what I want to see. Here we go. Alright. Now, Now, what was I saying? Okay, let's get to where we can see this energy expressed. Now, a lot of people want to say, or really I haven't really heard any people say too much about the age that we're in. Well, y'all, we behind. Somebody been tampering with our DNA and our spirit body and soul body evolution or ascension is maybe a good word. Because the things that we're talking about and we're going over, these are things we're supposed to already been knew and mastered. So now we're going to bring ourselves up to speed real fast. And I'm going to give y'all some things that the ancestors, as well as whatever's within me and that's coming out that allow me to understand this stuff. Let me help some people. So some people may know these things, some people may not, or they may have an idea, but it ain't really clear. Okay, now what we're looking at wood. I would say this is the age of wood. We're on a water space or water planet. However, the primary elements, if you look, when you say earth or the element of earth, I got to say wood. Because within wood, you're going to see the expression of all things. All things, dimensional realms, rabbit holes, black holes, what we call nodal points. So let's look at this right here, what I'm showing. And what I really want to get into is, here go the spider again. Here she go. The black widow. Right here in some wood panel. Now you see right here, you can see the expression of what this is doing. How are we seeing this so clear? We're seeing it because the wood was cut, but we're seeing that the water, the mu, how the mu exposes the magnetic sphere all around you. Now within this wood, now look right beside where you see the spider, then you see a black hole or a node or nodal. Now you're going to notice right there where that black hole is very prominent. If you follow all the way up and follow the dark energy, you're going to see another node or another black hole. That is an in and an out of a reality or realm. Right now I'm showing you a way. If you know the science, and I ain't giving everybody the science, you got to earn that for yourself. All of this is an initiation and elevation of your soul or spirit. Really, you're working on your spirit now. Because if you have awoken, what you have done is awoken your spirit body or your light body. Why do you need your light body? Because you would need to have to be able to condense your body, consciousness, mind, small enough to pass through that black hole. Because guess what? What you're looking at is the side of a tree. But if you pass through that black hole and out the other nodal on the other side of that tree, guess where you're going to be? On the other side of the window. See, this tree is going all the way up from what you call in hell or the first dimension or the zero plane or nothingness or the void. And this tree is going all the way up to the 13th plane. The 12th and then the 13th, the top nodal. This is the tree of life. These trees are all around us. Let's keep going. You see how this thing, how my picture's coming out. Seems like they're still downloading. Okay, here's another different wall panel where we're seeing the same things expressed. Now notice right here on the edge, on the right hand edge of this panel, you'll see that there's an out and there's an in up by the top. There's an out, there's an in, there's a corner, there's an L, there's a tetrahedron. All of that is right there. Because guess what? Light don't stop. Light penetrates and goes through things and to the other side. So now I'm expanding your consciousness to see something. Because these same shapes, these same widows, these same spiders, these same windows or doors or gates are in the clouds. So when everybody's looking at these clouds and we taking these pictures and we seeing these shapes and these are dimensional gates, portals, holes, ins and outs, pluses and minuses, yins and yangs, of dimensional portals, entrances, and outs. Okay, let's look at some more stuff I got here. Okay, now, we're seeing it expressed in the floor. If you look close enough, a little bit to the right, you see the spider again. There's the spider. That's a hot spot. What's that mean? That means I could lay my head right there. And that's a vortex. That is a black hole. That's a window or widow. Black widow. So if I lay my head right there and have the proper concentration, or if I even sit on it and have the proper concentration and breathing, I can go where I want to go. Once I understand the light body, the soul, the involution, not evolution. If you evolving, that means you're expanding. You're getting bigger. How can you pass through the eye of a needle that big? You can't. It's impossible. But you can if you condense and do involution and go in instead of out, then you can. And you notice if you're looking at the spider has many extensions, many pathways. But notice that pathway, if you know how to follow it, it still brings you back to where you started. That way you can't get lost and you can come back. See what else I got over here. I got a lot of stuff. I didn't get a chance to download it. Okay, now let's get into this concept right here. Now this is a root, tree root. Notice when you look within that root, a lot of people look at it as a tree as being something very solid. It's really not. It's bands, strands of optics, fiber optics. Those are strings. You can peel each one of them. It's 23,000 sets of strings. Same thing if you look at my fingerprint. Notice that those strings are the same as my fingerprint. Because those strings are the same thing as your skin. Your skin is microfiber optic strings or cords that can be unwind and rewind. So when you start going into quantum, you could unravel your whole body from your fingertips all the way through your guts and turn yourself inside out and end up in a whole nother place with a whole nother body. See, now I'm giving y'all some real secrets of the quantum. So now if I'm showing you tree roots and I'm showing you strings and fiber optics, what am I actually showing you? A network. Now this network is going underground. So that is a what? Subnet. Submass, subspace. Isn't that the same description that you have on your internet routers? So I'm showing you where they get the ions or the science or the ion from. They get it from us because we observe Nataru. We understand nature. You don't need no telephone. I'm showing you a telephone. You don't need no internet. I'm showing you the web, the dark web. I'm showing you subspace. I'm showing you quantum, how things move, how things communicate from one side of the multiverse to the next. A tree. A tree. What was the first dialect spoken in this space? Tree is what it's called. Look it up. Tree. Spoken by the Pygmy or the Twa. The people of the tree. Why? Because you're on a fucking big tree. You think you in a sphere. No, you like in an aquarium. Why you think they're showing you Ra coming out of a lotus flower, water? A flower grows in water because you own a big flower or a big tree. And all these spaces ain't nothing but a big tree limb and and twigs. Notice when the tree leaves die, what do? They decompose and become what? Dirt. Dirt ain't nothing but composed tree. Decomposed tree. Moss. Fungi. You get it? You own a tree. Layers of leaves that cross over each other. That bud, just like a bud. Look around you. Look at the trees. Look how they bend to the magnetic spectrum that I'm showing you. Look how they curve. Look at the top of them. Look at the patterns that they're making. They're making the patterns of a bud. And if you follow them carefully, you can look in your neighborhood or look around you. You'll see the navel. And you can find the other end too. Of the fruit that your house is planted on. And that you walk on every day. Look around you. Observe. We have cleared spaces now. Where shadows have turned to light. The dark spaces, the dark side. You see? What people don't understand is you was created with a split nature. What does that mean? It's two of you. It's either you right-handed or left-handed, most people. Or right-eyed or left-eyed. Or left nostril or right nostril. Meaning you're never using both. So your left eye has a veil over it. So you can't see the parallel reality. We can. Because there are techniques to open up that left nostril from the right side. We're supposed to be clear passageway. Why? So that your star tetrahedron nose will work correctly. And it will spin. You hear that? Those are gears winding, bringing air or noble gases, etheric gases from one side of the mirror to the other side. Right within you is the parallel reality. Most don't know you walking around as two people. More than that, you cannot perceive it. Some can. When that left eye or that eye of Ra or Ray becomes open, when that left nostril of Ra or Ray, no, the nostril don't deal with Ray. The nostril deals with the bull. Mantu. Amantu. Amun. Study your history. These are bird beings. These are us, Anunnaki, in our bird forms, in our Tahuti forms, in our clan forms. To understand that most of us are descendants of our Tahuti. Haru. Atumre. Satuka. These are Nataru. They look just like you, look just like me. Beings that climbed all the way to the top of the tree and come back down and left children and seeds as they went. The next generations of the Nataru and the Nitirat and the Akdad and the Enneads and the Nomos. The real interterrestrials, not extraterrestrials. Interterrestrials, because all of these beings still reside within us, within you. What do you think you're tapping into? Remember, nothing is new under the sun. son of a son, daughter of a son, daughter of the mother, Mu, water, Ta, earth, Nifu, fire, ether, the ray, 144 points of light. These are the teachings of the Asaru, the children of the Netaru, the children of Osiris, Aset, Sekhmet, Haru, the elder and the child. Most people don't know the Haru, the elder, is a female, it's a feminine deity. One of the oldest. Atahuti, the bird clans. Now we get back into the native stuff, indigenous, the clans. It all ties together. This is no spookism. It's all science or science. Let's keep going. Here we go when we start looking at the bird, our clans, the totems. Now, if you want to go and try to reach the highest heights that can be reached right now, you're going to the seventh plane, the mental plane. That's the plane of Atahuti or Jahuti. Now you're jumping into the bird science, the cardinals, the blue cardinals, red cardinals, purple cardinals. What are these? These are the word or the birds, the logos, the seeds, the primal energy that comes into space, the noble gases, the nobles. You're getting into that now. So I'm giving you the totems. I'm giving you the animals that you can start tapping into to start opening up the mental cavity, which your body or your temple or your starship, which it is a vacuum. Meaning that there are spaces within that can be opened up and expanded. This is the mental plane. So when you start getting into this science, now I'm taking you into 7-dimensional thought. Notice when you look at these spirit totems, these are different animals or different natir. A tier, creating a tier, a platform, layers of energy stacked on top of each other, a molecule, multiple different elements aligning itself. The staff of Ptah, Ma Ptah, standing tall, higher self, but can collapse and condense. Any one of these beingness or cells can roll out into any dimension or plane and walk and talk and communicate and function like everybody or every other beingness around it. This is the magic of our people. This is the magic of our people. And it's all being held together by this magnetic sphere or this great black widow. The cosmic glue. The nightness. I'm talking about the black water. Naquata is what they call it. Naquata. This is what you see on the Black Panther, that they depicting him drinking that purple substance that was coming from those flowers, or that light. Notice that light was coming out of a dark space from a plant that was able to illuminate itself from its core beingness. Not from an outside or fake source of light. No, self-sustaining, a solar being. Now we going up to height. This ain't got nothing to do with masculine, feminine. No, this is a combination. Ether. We're going past that. We're going into the quantum. Let's see what else we got. Anybody got any questions?
If you have a question, you can press *6 if you're on a computer, and if you're on the phone, unfortunately, you may not be able to see the visuals that he has. But if you're on the phone, you press *6. On the computer, you just unmute yourself if you have any questions so far.
Here's another one of our spirit totems, the panther. This energy is enormous for our people. This is you talking about the gate or the house of Sekhmet now. And a lot of different totems come up under the panther, not just the panther, the cat, the lynx, all of those type of, the jaguar, all those come up under that panther or that black panther totem. Now you jumping into the irons. Why? Because isn't these animals, these birds, these dragons, these images, do they not carry the characteristics of the superhero, of the quantum being that everyone is aspiring and know that's coming online? Well, I'm showing you one of the ways you tap into it. And it's always been the ways of our ancestors to tap into a lot of these energies. Here's another one, the raccoon. Now we're talking about the forest, the father, the fare. That's my last name. The forest, the land far, far away. The magical realm, the quantum. See, because you ain't going to get into quantum. You ain't going to get into getting into other spaces and other places without the help of these beings. They the ones that showed you how to get to them and through them. They go in and out of them all the time, especially cats. Cats are non-etherical beings. They can go between, they can find a stargate or a place, no problem. Go right through it. I watch them all the time. I have several in my house and in my yard. Anybody got any questions?
It doesn't look like it. You could keep going. If so, just unmute yourself. You can keep going for now.
Okay, now we're going to get into, when we look at this diagram, we're getting into the irons of light bending. Now, if you see that, that's just a little piece. If you notice that drawing that I made, is only a reflection in the shadow of a piece of foil that was bent. But if you're on the other side of the mirror and you're looking at it from a two-dimensional standpoint, that's what you're going to see. Now, if you look at that picture, that's like a little alien. This is how the quantum works. The small projects to be the large. What is small is controlling what is big. Why? So that which is small, which is the core business of the self, can be protected. It will not be damaged. You can destroy the shell of the ship, but what is inside going to escape to get another body, another quantumness, beingness. Okay, let me see what else I got over here. I had a lot of stuff. Kind of ran out of time. Been going through some things personally. That's that same piece of root that's spread out a little bit so you can see the fibers of it. Now we're going to get into another concept. Now, I told you that your skin is fibers or threads. No different than this pillow. And you see the shrills or the fibers that's coming off now. Now, if you really look at this picture, you're going to see this right here. Look at this wood. Now, if you study carefully, this wood is actually separated in bands. Bands. What do I mean? Bandwidth. What you're looking at is code. That's code. That's code. If you look close enough, if I can stretch this out, you see the people. You see the little people walking across. Can you see them? If you look at the middle one right here, you look close, you can see the shadows of the people walking across. That's quantum. Y'all want to see it again somewhere else? In this wood? Here it is right here. You can see the code, you can see the people in the shadows of the people or the beings walking or moving through existences. Here are about 10 or 15 different quantum bands or quantum fields or bands of information, code, and in some of them you're going to see, as I said, people or beings moving. You're looking at the matrix. If your eyes can see. If you have those type of eyes that can see. You're looking at the code of the matrix. It's all around you. It's in the wood. Let's keep going. I know I took a picture. I thought I took a picture of this other wood so you can even see the bands of it better. But I don't want to give too much at one time to take you too far. But you can see when we go back to this magnetic sphere, you can see these bands working the same way that you just saw in the wood. You see everything tied to the core. You see everything has a path to come back and forth, in and out through the quantum realms or fields. Gas can even pass through this even easier and quicker than water. And light will even move just as fast, quicker, and in the same patterns. Anybody got any comments, questions, or anything?
Yeah, I remember from in the Prism of Ra chat, we was talking about 5D and 5D being here, and you were mentioning about through the trees and the leaves, how if you look close, you'll be able to see the light going through.
Oh, yeah.
I just want you to touch on a little bit about that so people can take a little bit more notice around them.
I got the perfect picture. Let me see. I might have took it here. Let me see. I think I took it. I wasn't really planning on sharing it, but we might as well just share it. I'm gonna show you.
While you're doing it, I just want to tell people right quick, for those that's on the phone, if you can't see this presentation, we are going to post it. So it's going to be on the YouTube, and you'll be able to look back and see this class and all of the pictures that he's showing right now. I just want to let them know that.
Okay. I see some interesting stuff down here at the bottom that I meant to share. Here we go. All right, let's get into this wood again right quick. Now, here's a picture of a black hole right in the wood. This is a floor joist up under a house. Now, we see how this wood is coming together. Even though these are two different pieces of wood, notice how the bands have matched up. These bands are bands of light. Now, we actually, as non-etherical beings, have the ability to actually merge with those bands because we have bands. I showed you the bands on your hands, but your skin, if you look close enough to your skin have these same bands or striations, as sometimes they're called. Now, Pink Man will make you want to think everything is working kind of like this in circles. No. No, it's not. No, it's not. It's working like I showed you with the magnetic spectrum. Now, we're going to get into some bending of light right here. Now, notice I'm going to show you these pictures. These are the same pictures, but I'm going to show you how, with angle and bend, how you can get different dimensions. Some parts of the vent you can see, some parts you can't, depending on the angle or the bend of light. And then I'm going to kind of take you back to what the Empress was showing you. Now, notice if you look at these depictions, what do they look like? A bird or an eagle. I'm showing you the ions. They know the ions that we're talking about, the ions of flight. How we know? We got planes flying every day. Where did they get this from? The bumblebee. The bumblebee. The bumblebee is the one who follows the path of the sun. I think I posted a video. If I don't, I will post it on my page where it shows you, or you can look it up for yourself. Look up the video on YouTube, how do bees communicate? And it will show you how bees are able to use the magnetic spectrum or the magnetic sphere, locate the sun, use its coccyx or its tail, bend it forward. Okay, now this is star tetrahedron information we're giving now. Take that tail and bend it forward, which makes his staff or his spine become erect. This is Men, the god Men, the erection, the phallus. When that back or that coccyx gets straight, now the being is activated. Now the being is solar. The joints, the spinal cord, the nervous system, the 12 glandular endocrine system starts to kick in. Now the oneness of the being can take flight. All these are lessons of Atahuti. Let's see, can I find this picture? Not those. These are just different manifestations right here. You can see a picture of the wood or a black hole on one side. Now, if you stand on that left-hand side, you will not see the right-hand side. But notice the V or the heart or the Vesica Pisces. Notice right there at the edge of the corner, right there, how on the other side, you can go through one side of the black hole and get to the other. Just notice this pretty spider web. Notice the beak of the bird. All this is coming out of the wood. Now, if I blow that up and put it dead in your face, that might look like an alien to you. That's just wood. So I'm taking y'all through wood, the knowledge of the wood, the real knowledge of things. Here we go. When I talked about the clouds, same patterns, the striations, the bands, the light, the etherical energy is what I'm talking about. The bands, because you can pick up these bands through the nostril, through the breath, and through the eyes. And you can pull this energy inside of you. This is what the etherical being can do. The 6 ether being can't do this. Only the 9 ether being can do this. Bend light, bend air. Create the space, create the channel, create the path so that the light can get from one side to the next. Let me show you something about light and how light bends and creates thresholds. If you look at this picture, those are 1, 2, 3, 4. I can see about 6 different thresholds of light right there. Those all are different realities, realms, different bands. Look at it there. This is the same light. I ain't changed the light. The same room. But it's about the angle. The angle, the L. When you understand the angle, the L, and how light bends from one side and penetrate through walls, you understand that you can too. This is the knowledge of the light bender. Let's see what we got. I got one picture. I may not have. I know where it is. Let me just show y'all right quick. Let me show you right quick. Let me show you, because I know who I sent it to. Let me see. Right quick. I can't show you everything. If I can pull this picture. Here we go. Now, For all the naysayers, for those who doubt a sun god, a deity who understands the light. That's a ceiling. Notice how the light is above the ceiling, creating a window, creating bands of light coming through above the ceiling. You're seeing through the ceiling. You're seeing the projection of what light can do. It don't stop. So just because you got a wall and you got light coming from the other side of the wall and it's dark on your side, no, that light is still moving. It don't stop. So right there, I'm showing you a gate or stargate, a portal right there. And if you look right beside it, you will see a God standing right there, making it all possible, a gatekeeper. You see the dark image. Where did that come from? I didn't do that. But that's in my house. But that's in my house. So I'm showing you a window, a projection. I'm showing you what you can do and how it's done. Light bender, air bender, crystal bender, mind bender, magnetic spear, tomb ray. Anybody got any questions?
It's funny how you said that. You said airbender, lightbender. It just made me think of that cartoon called Avatar, and they were firebenders, earthbenders. Yeah, just made me think.
They're giving you the ions. They're giving you the ions of the magnetic sphere, magnetism, the spider. All that was just code to keep you away from what I'm sharing with you now. What I'm sharing with you now, when people say, "Oh, the law of attraction," and they talk about the law of attraction and being in alignment, what they're actually talking about is being in alignment with the magnetic sphere. With this, knowing the tilt, knowing the axis, knowing these bands, understanding bands, understanding. They're only taking us to 5G or 5 bands. Man, they can go up to 12 bands right now if they want to. They playing with us. Just easy, slow walking it in. But they walking it in from a computerized, cyborg, robotic perspective, because they don't want you to naturally do these things. We naturally do these things. I didn't need nothing to do what I've been showing y'all, but concentration and vitamins and water. I told you what to take: magnesium and zinc. That is what the body is missing. Why did I say magnesium and zinc? Why did I just make that up for no reason? No, I didn't make that up for no reason. We ain't going around here just talking out the sides of our mouths. We are the ones who created this. All of us. In our higher future selves and lower cells, primal cells, source cells. We created this. That's how we know. That's how we know. Because it comes easy to us to understand it. I ain't go to no class to learn this. I ain't read no book. No, I just look at stuff and it makes sense when you open up yourself to new ideas, new concepts. You start self-teaching yourself. Stop reading books. Stop watching everybody's videos and stop not believing in you that you are it. You are it. You ain't waiting for nobody but you. Now, why I say what I said? Because look at the plant. This is the center of the plant cell. When we first started coming to this space, we were green, not black or brown. Look at pictures of Osiris, Asaru, the Netaru. We got plenty of them. They're olive color, like the trees. You keep claiming Mama Earth, but you ain't claiming none of the green. And then everybody I see bashing reptilian. Man, you got so much reptilian in you. You start off as a reptilian in the embryo, inside of your mother. You a tadpole, you a frog, you a snake, you all of that, but you want to keep disrespecting your ancestors, and you keep thinking you're going to rise in the sin, and you keep disrespecting what you are. Listening to the pink man and woman. They are not that. They something else. I don't even know what all they are. They was grafted out of a whole lot of things. So were you, but you was grafted out of the highest principles of everything. So what I'm showing you is that the core of your cell used to be magnesium, not iron. Iron, when mixed with oxygen and water, causes rust. It's called oxidation. That's what your skin color is. Brown. It's rust. Ain't no glory. It's rust. If your skin color was so prominent, why you ain't flying by now? Why you can't transform into a bird and fly like my act? Like I said. Why you can't do it. I'm showing you why you can't do it. Because people been tampering with your DNA through chemistry or alchemy. They know how to keep you a mortal. They doing it through the air, they doing it through your water, and they're doing it through your food, and they're doing it through the seeds. So in order for you to transform back into what you're supposed to be, you got to put yourself back in alignment. This is what the Netaru are here to do. When you wake up, you start to know this stuff yourself. And then you start to share it, and you start to get confidence. You start to love you again. All of you. All of what you are. Not just a part. I know everybody got to know by now the word human means monster. In the legal dictionaries, it means monster. It don't mean what you think it means. It means monster. But what is monster? Ma, stir, to stir ma, move. These people playing with us with this language. There was a time we didn't speak at all. We used higher senses to communicate. Like the animals around you, they ain't got to do too much talking or making noises, and everybody knows what to do. You tell me if they ain't moving higher than you or not. They are. But somebody then fooled you to think that you the highest thing around here. A cat will run circles around most humans. A cat ain't working. A cat ain't got no job. A cat can go in and out of different realms, dimensions, spaces. A cat can talk. It talks to its children all day. It's got us running around serving it. So who's on the top of the hierarchy? Mr. Human? Mr. Adam? What are you talking about? Adam Catman? The created Adam? Because there's more than one Adam. There's been an Adam every time when the earth reset. And there's going to be a new Adam. Again, they call it the monad. So when I say take magnesium, because why? You want to become more plant-like. Because the plant, your whole nervous system and your spinal cord was designed from the tree and the vine and the leaf. Why you think the god Mantu and Ra and all of them had feathers and leaves on top of their heads? why you think we didn't have to deal with nothing but the elements, the 5 elements? That's it. To create all things. Because all things ain't number one thing. Spin to a different speed and a different temperature. That's it. You can create hydrogen and turn it to helium and turn it to nitrogen and turn it to neon and turn it to carbon and turn it to magnesium. It's all one element. One thing. So now, anybody got any other questions? Magnesium, zinc, and water. Get you some monatomic gold. Put it in your water. Make yourself conductive. And then power will flow through you. Question.
I have a couple things to say, and I know I'm probably the only one, but you just touched on a lot. It's funny, today I just put something in one of the groups because I was hearing about somebody was, I guess, telling a group of people going into nature, and I guess being a part of nature like that is, I mean, because we're doing like off-grid communities and stuff, and they were saying, oh, that's pretty much like house nigga shit. It's like it's going back to pretty much BS. And I'm like, nature and getting back into nature again and back within ourselves, going back to the spiritual, like they leading you away from our spiritual side and what the stuff that we need to be doing. So it's just funny to hear you now talking about going more into nature.
That's the true battle. Nature and cyborg. Nature versus robotic. Nature versus AI. See, we are I-O. We was the I over the O. Meaning the intelligence, the black dot over the O, the cosmic sphere. Meaning the Godhead over the sphere. Meaning you stood over the sphere. Like a bird sits on its egg. You see what I'm saying? The bird that had the egg. The bird is conscious. There ain't no more what came first, the bird or the egg. No, it's the bird. Because the bird, at this point, the bird got to keep laying the eggs. The eggs ain't going to keep multiplying themselves after the first being cracked the egg. The egg could have been first. It could have been first. But I guarantee what was in the egg was creating a shield of protection for itself. So they was working together at the same damn time. So when you get into this battle of the cyborg or the nanotechnology, the hybrid, the intermixing, the meddling of things, or the alchemy, you see, alchemy can be used to expand, or when you're expanding things, most of the time, what do you have to do to expand something? Put cut in it. Right? Right? You got to put baking soda and flour, or put, if you're trying to bake a cake or you're trying to make bread, we call that cut. You got to put something to cut it to expand it, right? So it'll rise, so it'll spread out. You don't have any more material. You had to add something synthetic something that was not of it to cause it to expand. No different when you put too much acid in you. What happens? Your stomach starts getting bloated and it expands. Does that feel good? No, it don't. But when you're working out and you're getting rid of toxins and you're getting smaller and you're condensing, are you getting weaker? No, you're getting stronger, actually. So it's the opposite, or the involution, or the condensing. Things that are more condensed are stronger, like a dwarf star. That is a star that has condensed so much on itself, it's about to collapse within itself and create a what? Black hole. Meaning it's about to turn itself inside out. It's going on the other side of the mirror. of existence. So you have existence and you have insistence. You have the inverse of existence. See, the pink man want to teach, and the pink woman want to teach people that the only thing that exists is existence. That means to exit. What about what was in? Or going the opposite way? Insistence. Going the other way. If they showing you a picture that's only going one direction, is what they show you when you look at these cosmic drawings of the expansion of the universe or the Big Bang, they're only showing you go one direction. What about going the opposite direction or going inwards or involution? Things can collapse in on themselves. You get it? So
that's
something
true.
will have
That's
to
true.
collapse in on itself to get to the other side. That's the real life. It's on the other side. That's immortality. You see? That's where the giant said. That's where the goal is, to get to the other side of the mirror, not to keep going, expanding farther and farther and farther away from yourself. The more you keep breaking up and fractalizing and becoming more and more L's or fractals, that you're becoming weaker and weaker. Instead of just being one L or one self, or the whole, or, the source. You want to go back to source, or you want to keep dividing? Because it's divide and conquer. Something wants us to keep dividing. That's why it keeps pushing us towards all this division, separation, self, I. That's why I'm trying to get out of the habit of saying I just say we. Because I am many things acting as one. I'm not just Ra, Lamont, or Jabril, or whatever these little small titles. No. Our titles are many. Of all the cells or L's that we have, or that we are now in every realm. Put it all together. Now you're dealing with something powerful. No different than a beehive or ant colony. Millions of ants acting as one. You ain't coming in there disturbing nothing. They got 1,000,000, 1,000 soldiers on the outside ready to bite you, attack you, everything to protect the queen and the core beings that are in the center of the nest. You see that type of togetherness, that type of protection, that type of molecule? So if you look at this magnesium molecule, look how on each corner, the magical directions, you see a spear, or you see basically another configuration, those four horses, Horus, or Doris, my grandmother, same name. Expand your mind.
Hey, Ra, someone has a question in the chat, but I need to unmute them because they was having a hard time. Let me see if I can unmute them. Hold on. Empress, can you hear now? I know you said you had a question.
Hello?
Okay. I'm sorry, Noble. Is that you had a question?
Yes, it is.
Okay, because it came up as Carmen through the chat. Okay, go ahead.
Yeah, but I'm a dude.
Okay. Sorry
It's
about
cool.
that.
Love, light, and peace. No, it's cool. Love, light, and peace. I want to know how I can get onto the internet. I mean, to my, what do I got to do in order to get onto my laptop?
Okay, you know what? I was trying to do that through the shift group. Did you go to number 3? It said to join. You click on that link, and then that link should take you directly to where to go. And then they may ask you for an email address.
Yeah, they did.
They may ask you for an email address and pretty much to kind of join the conference call. You put in Moorish American United as the ID and the access code if they ask you that.
All right.
Okay. If you have any questions, you can reach me back on the shift. Go ahead. You want to say something else?
All right. Yeah. Is there a phone number just in case I can't get on? I need some more help. Is there a phone number that I can call?
You know what? I'll give you mine. I'll put that in the shift group.
All right. Cool.
Do you have any questions before you get off?
Thank you.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah, he wants to. Obviously, he wants to see the visuals. There was a few people on the phone,
Oh,
so I'm gonna try
okay.
to help him out. But you can continue on. I have one question though before you go. You said to take magnesium and zinc, and that gets you closer to the chlorophyll, the plant life.
Well,
I
and
was,
not only that, it will give you the energetic potential. See, some kind of way, the magnesium molecule got lost in our DNA as far as naturally producing it and being the center core of our cells. It got replaced with iron some kind of way. I don't know how. I'm still trying to figure that out. Somebody, like I said, somebody been tampering with our shit. Get it to keep us locked and trapped in the lower realm and don't allow us to go through our evolution process of Neteru, because we have a system in how the Neteru flow through us and who comes online to be in what place and what time to do these type of things. There's a system. Now, if you study those videos that I kept posting and I kept showing everybody to link into the ancient Egyptian order videos, you start studying them. That's why he got those pictures all on the walls, and he has them in a specific order, in a specific arrangement, going in specific directions, going in specific corners. So when you start to pay attention to all of that, he's showing you, but he's doing it in a code or a codex, because we don't want them to know everything. So he's doing it in a form of fashion to show you our system and how our system flows and works, in and out. So now if you look on what I have on the screen now, this is what I keep trying to get everybody to trying to turn their attention to. This is the original zodiac that's in the temple ceiling of Dendera. Now this original zodiac is where they got everything from. Studying this, and they just now starting to let us see it. A lot of these temples they took down and moved, rebuilt, recarved, manipulated, touched up, fabricated. Some of them are totally fake. A lot of the original temples are over here in America. Most of our temples, a lot of them. That whole thing that they did out in the Nile, a lot of that is a show. A lot of our real original stuff is in the Grand Canyon. And everybody know it. But look at the Grand Canyon. It's dry. So it's simple to see what they did. The Hoover Dam, they dammed up the rivers, cut our water supply off, dried up our trees. Look at the whole thing of chopping down the cherry tree. That's just symbolic, telling you they chop your whole source of power down. They cut you off from your trees because they start dredging the land and messing up the root system, which is the network. You get it? Look at all these fake streams that they got going on around here. Notice in the black neighborhoods or the melanated neighborhoods, I know at least around me, I got all these streams and ain't no water in them. Why? Who did that? A natural stream ain't gonna dry up unless somebody dammed it. Why are all the trees, when you look at the trees, they gray and brown, but the leaves are green? That means that the tree is gray, it ain't getting no nutrients. So they starve in the garden. I don't think people get it. You're in an enchanted garden or forest. You're in the magical forest. So if they kill the forest or cut the energy of the forest, then they beat you. They show you the story in the movie Avatar, when they cut down the tree of souls. When they cut down the mother tree, the tree where the people, the beings live, what did it do? It destroyed them. They showing you the technique that they use to take your ancestors down. Destroy the tree. So, anybody got any other questions? Because I can go on and on and on, but I don't want to keep saying the same things and making the same points because my range can go so many different places. Everybody know that. But I
Yeah,
wanted to concentrate
I'm
on this
sorry.
magnetic sphere, and I wanted to concentrate on the cosmic egg, which you're looking at right now in this picture, and you're looking at a being which would represent the tree. Stop thinking everything about a human. It ain't all about humans. When you look on this chart of Dendera, you see all kind of animals. You even see humanoids mixed with different animals. All these things are true. They showing you what has happened. And they showing you the rotation of things, how it works. If you take the magnetic sphere and you match it up with this, it's going to show you how these beings going to flow in and out of you. Not only that, these are codes that you can access. Notice that there are hands touching each one of these and crossover points. Now, a lot of people may not understand what I'm talking about because they dumb. They don't do no studying. They don't want to learn nothing about energy. They don't want to learn nothing about building. They don't want to learn nothing about science. They just want to do and be on stuff that just deal with money. Money, 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 money. Money ain't going to teach you a lot of stuff, but how to spend it. What about the science or the science or the alchemy of what was done to manufacture things that make money? And not even just the process of manufacturing to make money, no. The process of manufacturing so that you can create. You are a creator, a creatress. You cannot create if you don't know processes of creation. But it's all around you. Beings of different cultures and nations are running circles around a lot of us when it comes to creative ability. Because we will not learn the basics thinking that everything is spookism. No. Ra-N-Ell is Ra-N-Ell, the Most High, because he's the most smartest. He has the greatest ability to create. That's how he won that position. He wasn't given that position. He earned that position. He earned that title. And guess what? Every so many cycles, someone or groups of beings get a chance to challenge for that title of the Most High. Females, it doesn't matter what you look like, what kind of being, how many different aliens or aliens that you have within you. What can you do with it? How dedicated are you to the science of creation and wielding creation? So there are beings that are suns and can hold that meditation for 50,000 years, 50 million years of our time. And it'll only be like a few days to that being. That's work. That's concentration. That's focus. That's bringing and putting all these things together. Because that being that I'm talking about was once just like me and you. It worked its way through this cycle. Up the ladder, down the ladder, across the ladder. Balance beaming. Transmuting energy. Using everything. All things. Not just some things. Merging, mutating. Calculating. Trial and error. A true scientist. One who understands the triune. The Trinity. Knowing that you can take two things that are opposite. And the one thing that they both core have in common is the third of the two. 2 and 1 makes 3. Triune. 3 and 1 makes 4. Triune. 3 and 1, 2 and 1. So that's what Ra-N-Ell el-Amantu Fareharu have for the people now. And unless somebody else got something, we gonna wrap it up.
Okay. I just have one question. they were talking about, and we can wrap it up from here. And I thank you too for this class. I know it's been a while, so I appreciate you coming back and
Yeah, I'm a
sharing
little
with us.
rusty, y'all. I'm a little rusty. You know, a lot of times I got a lot more visuals, and
No,
playing
you're not.
things. I still was as electrifying as before, because
Yes.
I'm that's my goal, is to bring energy, light to the core, to the center, and let it sprout out and come back. Sprout out, come back. Sprout out, come back. We ain't dealing with no terminal seeds, one crop, one harvest, and now you got to go buy new seeds. No. Nature don't work that way. It replants itself every time. Grass ain't need no new grass. Trees ain't need no new trees. Trees have fledglings or little children, so to speak. They seed themselves, self-seeding, perpetual. And so this is what we're stepping into now by stepping into the quantum, stepping inside of the cell. I hate to say, but F atom. F atom. We ain't dealing with atom. Atom too big. Atom played out, man. We inside the atom. We inside the nucleus of the cell. We in the quartz and the zilts and the bobs. Quartz crystal. Smaller than an atom. So when you go out there and you see that quartz come out of a tree trunk. Is where they're grown out of. How do I know I didn't pick too many of them? Right out of the trunk of the tree. Me and my mama. I got several of them. And I know where to go find more. They grow right out of the trunk of a tree. Quartz crystal. The watch. Clock of destiny. Quartz. Smaller than the atom. Part of the nucleus. Part of the trinity. The triune. I'm giving you master keys. I'm giving you master keys. You take what I'm saying, add it with the remedy ages and everybody else, and put it together. I don't know nobody who got more correct information than the Nuwapu. The brothers and sisters coming out of Malachi Z, York, them camp, they done brought the ancient teachings of our ancestors back. I don't care what you think of him. But I guarantee you, I won't leave this space without him. Because it was through his teachings and the teachings of them brothers and sisters who has kept them teachers going, while part of that brother's incarcerated, that liberated my mind and got me speaking on this sharp level. Them brothers and sisters are sharp. Get into it, I'm trying to tell you. That's where our information is hidden. That's why they did what they did to the man. But I told the gods and goddesses that I've experienced Ra-N-Ell, Ra-N-Ell, one, two. Who will not leave this space without that being on the mothership. I guarantee it. On everything that I am, I guarantee it. He will be on the bureau. We will not leave without him. And with that, I'm out. And unless somebody else got something to say or a magical question.
You probably need to drop the mic on that one.
That's how I feel about it.
Yes.
I feel that strongly about it.
Yes. I just had to say with iron right quick. They say iron, too much iron will kill you, and you were just looking at iron in the blood, and you was talking about
killing everybody, the guns, the swords, the whole Iron Age. What has iron did for us? Nothing but destroy.
That's true.
And during a woman's menstrual, what's she doing? Getting rid of iron. But she got some white coat telling her to put more iron back in her instead of magnesium. And we wonder why we're tired all the time. Isn't iron heavy?
Yeah, you got that right. That's true.
It's one of the heaviest of all the metals. You take somebody who got an iron car, you take somebody who got an aluminum car. That aluminum car is going to outrun that iron car all day. Why you think they don't make iron and steel anything no more but a tank? Hell, it costs a few $1 million for one. So we've been misguided about everything. Everything that we've been taught through school or through social media or through a book, man, take that stuff and scrap it. Throw it away. It was only misguided to keep you from being a Netaru, from keeping you from being a god, goddess, a creator, the most high, the most low, the most mid. I would take any of those titles. The most low. I'm the most something. I ain't just nothing and don't think nothing about myself. Think I'm the lowest. Think I don't have power. Think I don't come from greatness. That's what that would do to you when you don't have no kind of most nothing about you. Everybody got something special about themselves. You are the most something. Might be the most mouth. I'll take that. Ain't the throat a chakra? I'll take that title, the most mouth. At least I can beat everybody in something. The most graceful, the most nice. All these are beautiful titles. Anybody got anything anybody want to add?
I'm going to unmute the mics right quick just in case you guys are having a hard time. I'm going to try to see if I can do it myself. I don't know how to do this one. Does anyone else have anything to say? If not, we're going to let the brother.
Excuse me, brother.
There you go.
Hello?
Yes, sir.
We
Hello?
can hear you.
Excuse me, brother. My name is Tyler Bay. Is there anybody I can get in contact with you?
You go on Telegram. I have a Prism of Ra page on Telegram. And that'll probably be the best and easiest way. I do have a YouTube channel, but I have not been doing anything active on it in quite some time.
Well, I check out something over. The information you got it'll be new to me. I just need to get raised, man.
Yeah, and
real bad.
On her channel, the Moore's News Network. I think I have 3 or 4 videos that we did previously. I had to take a break because I had a child, and
praise the Lord. Congratulations.
Thank you. And but on there are 3 to 4 excellent videos. Ra the Ram. What do we do, Empress?
The goddess. I know we went into the mothership.
The mothership, the goddess, all those videos. Watch those videos because I give just as much information there as I did here or more.
Right, and it was a prelude to this information.
So what would I put into the engine? The Moore's News Network?
Yes, sir.
Yep.
And then you start looking at her videos on her page, and you're going to see Ra-N-Ell or Ra-N-Ell and the Empress Sade, and you'll see our videos. We did just like this, and we jam packed it. We really caught everybody up. If you really because we
need it, brother. We need it.
And we took them into the cosmic sphere, and I had never even heard anybody on the internet even talk about that.
No, never.
What's the cosmic sphere? What is that?
Well, that's what you're in. The cosmic sphere, you're in an egg, or the galaxy, or what you call the Milky Way galaxy. It's shaped like an egg or an eye.
Yes.
And it's perfectly arranged, mathematically coordinated, and beings go from one side to the other, from the top to the bottom. Now, it's a little tricky because you have what's called the Milky Way is actually the galactic centers, a belt that wraps around the egg. So they call it the Milky Way galaxy, but it can't be the Milky Way galaxy. It has to have another name because the Milky Way is actually the galactic belt. that wraps around the egg. Now, it moves like a sine wave, and so there are certain parts of the cosmic egg that creates what you call a parallelogram or parallel realities. So you have part of the egg. It's just like, if you think of the egg just like as what you imagine the earth to be, as a sphere. So you might have the top part of the earth, right? But then you have underneath you, if you think about the earth as having a crust, a core, and then another side, if it's a sphere, a perfect sphere, and you're on the outside edge of the sphere, then there's another, then you can cut that sphere in half. So that would be, if you cut that sphere in half, a lot of people's perception will still be that that's 360 degrees. Or some people's perception may say it's 180 degrees. Either way it goes, there's still another side that you can't experience in your one perception. You
That's
only
true.
really ever experience a quarter of reality at a time, because you're only seeing one direction at a time, north, east, west. So you're only getting a quarter of that, and then really you're only getting a quarter of a quarter, or half of a quarter, because you only see out of one eye.
Whoa.
You don't see out of both of your eyes simultaneously. There's an illusion that you do, but you don't. Right-eyed or left-eyed. Just like right hand or left hand, unless you're ambidextrous. Now, if you're ambidextrous, that still don't mean that in your upper orifices, like your head, that you're ambidextrous. Now, if you put your hand over one eye and look at something, and then take your hand and move it to the other eye, you're going to notice the object moves. You're going to notice that the object moves. Now, another test you can do center in on one object and then close one of your eyes. Close your left eye. You're going to notice that that object didn't move. That means you only was looking at that object out of one eye.
That's crazy. That totally makes sense.
Now, somebody has put it in our minds that we're looking out of two eyes. You're not. That left eye is the eye for the parallel reality that you're experiencing simultaneously that you can't even perceive. That's the shadow world. Now, that's when someone has their second eye open, because most people only see out of one eye. You only see out of one eye, I don't care what you think, unless you work on opening up the other eye. There's a technique to that, and it ain't easy. I'm still working on opening my left eye all the way, but my left eye is at least halfway open. I can see out of my left eye simultaneously, but I only recently been able to do that when I took myself to a higher level, going through the training that I be trying to get everybody to tap into. Now, this is the secret of the eye of Ra, or the eye of Horus. The real secret is you able to see out of your left damn eye. Now, when you start to see out of your left eye, be ready, because you're going to see some shit that going to scare you.
What?
Yes, because this reality don't look the way you think it looks.
So we going through an optical illusion?
Close your right eye, start looking at shit through your left eye, and stand and look at it from a 45-degree angle. Meaning, don't stand straight in front of it. Stand either to the left side of it or to the right side. Preferably, stand to the right side of the object. Close your right eye and look at the object with your left eye. Turn your head a little slightly towards the right. Then you're going to see what things really look like. And then you'll see what a being really look like. You start seeing horns on their head. You'll start seeing what they really look like. See, everybody looking the same, what you call humans, because everybody looking at that right eye. And that right eye being calibrated for everybody to see the same shit. But when you're dealing with the left eye, no, you're going to see reality. Why reality? Okay, let's get into music. When you understand about mono and stereo, and you know the difference. Most people don't. I just recently learned what the two differences is from my brother, and my brother is a master musical engineer. Matter of fact, he be working with Neil Pogue. Neil Pogue just won the Grammy for Tyler, the Creator's album, for best musical engineer in the Grammys last year. When my brother worked, this ain't my real brother. This is somebody I've been knowing since I was a teenager. We close, we spirit brothers. I make music myself, but he's a master of sound. So the other day he explained to me about, again, probably for the 30th time, but this time I finally got it. He explained to me the difference of mono and stereo. Now, mono means one speaker, or think of it as one ear. Okay? But mono means center also. It means center. All the sound is going up the center. There are no sides to it. Think about a room. You're in a room that's a cube. That's called an area of space. If you listen to music, if you're in a little small little restaurant, they got a little band playing, little live band, you would call that like a stereo spectrum or area. You're in a little cube. When you're dealing with sound, you got to start looking at sound like that because you're reproducing sound. And you want the audience to have the same experience as they would have had if they were at the concert, right? We talk about radio, we talk about music, we talk about records. Now let me take the mono and stereo. So mono is the process of having everything up the center, which means that all things can be heard out of one speaker. Like your cell phone has one speaker. Most of them. Okay?
Yes.
So now, but mono, back in the days in analog, they put mono in the left side, meaning there's no right. On the left side, Remember that. So mono is either left or center. Stereo is totally different. Stereo means it has no center. It's just left or right. Now, what I mean by that, if you got a mono signal that's in the center, if you put it in a stereo system that has two speakers, left and right, you will hear everything equally out of both sides. Okay? But you can take mono and hit the button called phase, switch the polarity. Now you're taking the mono that was in the left speaker or center speaker or that one speaker. Meaning if you took one speaker and you plugged it in the left side, the left prong, you could still hear sound. Or at left, right, center, if you took that one speaker and you put it in the center, you can hear sound. But if you put it in the right, you can't hear no sound. That's mono. Stereo, you got to have two speakers, left and right. Now, if you have a sound that is mono, meaning it's only in the left, or it's only in the center, if you put it on a stereo system, guess what happens? Everything disappears.
Whoa.
If you got a true mono sound, and in the center, when you put it in a speaker system that is stereo, which is left and right, all the sound disappears.
Wow.
You can test it for yourself today. So what is that? Why I'm saying all of that? What I'm saying is everything is truly mono. Back in the days before you even had stereo, you only had one speaker, you had mono.
Yeah, I remember that.
50s, 40s, 30s, 50s, 60s, probably all the way into the 60s. Probably in the late 60s and 70s is when they introduced stereo. And that's when they started introducing digital also. Okay? Before that, everything was analog. And then before that, it was mono, analog. Even the telephone, analog. So now, when they came with the science of stereo, what they did is they took the mono signals and started putting what they call carrying frequencies or hidden messages or hidden whatever, a whole different reality. They could hide it because they could put it in mono or analog. Have you listened to digital, which is two speakers or stereo, digital stereo, Dolby, what they call it, you would never know it was there.
Wow.
Even if I record a motion picture and I record half of it in analog or mono and put it in the left side, if you can't see in your left eye, you can only see in your right, and then I take another motion picture and I put it in stereo, or I put it on the right side. Guess what's going to happen? You're going to sit there and watch that movie and listen to that movie, see one whole reality, but somebody with a left eye can see a whole different movie.
Another reality. Wow.
It's happening every day. And this is the first time I've been able to explain that shit to anybody.
Wow. That's serious. But then the rappers say that when you play music in a certain thing, like when you used to have them little markers on the side of the stereo player, like 33, 45,
There you go.
depending upon what speed you had it in, you could get other subliminal messages that they have on the record.
There you go, because why? It's slowed down slow enough for you to discern that there are different bands, bands, which are mid, high, low, or gamma, beta, alpha. Those
all of that,
bands, meaning like different radio stations.
Same thing, yeah.
Same exact
different
thing.
pitch.
Different pitch.
Yeah, different hertz. Yeah.
Different hertz. It's the same thing. So that means, see, FM, and I had a class on this on my last video, but I didn't get as deep into what does FM mean. That means frequency modulation, but what it really means is that I have what they call a carrier frequency within the signal, that carrier. Meaning I have what they call under the floor or floor noise or pink noise or white noise. What is that? That's information that you cannot discern. It's so low in pitch, you can't hear it. It's another song within the song. And it's talking to the left side of yourself. They're calling it the subconscious, or the subworld, or the subfloor. You heard of subfloor noise, right? Okay, the subfloor noise is that noise that's down by the floor. You stand probably 5, 6, 7 foot tall. Your ears ain't down there. So if I take a signal, call it bass or call it whatever, it can be lower than bass. Bass normally comes in at 30 hertz and above. What about 30 hertz and below? The ears will hear all the way up until negative 20 hertz. So what about that little 10 hertz between minus 20 and minus 30? See, it's messages.
Yeah, you can't tune in, so you can't hear it.
You can't tune in, so you can't hear it unless you tune yourself in. Unless you start listening to stuff repetitively to tune your ear or tune your mind, no different than playing a guitar or instrument. You have to tune yourself to the instrument or to the note. That's what I tune means. I tune Ray. I see the concept of Ra or Ray ain't synonymous to me. This is the knowledge of the damn sun. This ain't no ego. I say I'm Ra, I'm Ray. No, nigga, I'm saying I understand the principles of how the sun or light works. So when you say you Gab or you shoot or you one of these attributes, or you saying you understand how wind works? Shoot, wind. Or move water. I understand the principles of water. How I can put water in one bucket, put it in the other, tie those buckets together, put some air, and the water gonna move. And I can control what direction it goes. And I can make back currents and forward currents. And I know how to make propellers and impellers and make it go in and make it go out. This is our science. But they done spookified it and put all this spooky stuff with it to make you think of this concept of God and the devil. You ain't gonna never tap into it. So
damn sure ain't.
Using your science, creating products and selling it to you and make you work for me. It's simple.
Yeah. Diabolical too.
It's very diabolical, but this shit has stopped. Why? Because people like me and you talking, we putting it out in the ethers because gas run everything. Everyone
game over.
God particles. It's in the air. You can't stop it. I'm breathing God.
I mean.
You feel me? I'm breathing ethers of gas. and putting my positive spin or my positive energy on top of it. That's traveling. You can't stop it.
Mm-hmm.
It's in the wind. It's in the air. It's in your cells.
It's everywhere. Where isn't it?
Clean up from within. We're cosmic energy. Photons, light photons. We come cleaning stuff. We don't even know what we're doing. But we doing it.
Yeah, well, I'm here to learn, so please show me the way of those whom God has favored.
You know the way. The way is loving yourself and trusting you. Knowing that you got the information that's inside of you. Ask yourself.
What do I ask myself? How do I ask myself? What is the question that I would ask myself?
So, what is the answer to whatever question that you have? And then wait. When the inspiration to the answer to that question comes without you having to think about it, you know it came from self, from a higher self. Or it might come from outside of you, but you wasn't expecting it. You wasn't calculating. That's when you know it come from divine. It comes from a line. A line of attachment. Means something in the quantum field you are previously attached to, you have touched, is a part of you. Once you touch something, bro, you always connected to it. I don't give a damn what it is. That's the quantum. That's the invisible cords and strings.
String theory.
There you go. That's string, and it ain't no theory.
No.
I've seen it and experienced it with my own self.
Ain't no better experience than that.
Huh?
Ain't no better experience than that than self-experience.
Self-experience. I'm telling you what I experienced. Everything I'm telling you today is what I've experienced recently. I ain't trying to sit here and be in my ego and make it seem like I've been through this shit. No. I'm learning like everybody else. Trial and error. Ask yourself. And yourself will show you the way. See, the whole trick was to make us think that something outside of us.
Yeah. That's, woo. Boy, they did a number on us, boy.
Didn't they? Had me looking for 40-some years outside of myself for something to come.
Me too. Don't feel bad.
The answer was always inside of me. You know everything already. Ask yourself. And ask yourself the way you want to ask yourself. It ain't no formula to this shit. You
just got to ask. Good. But they got us asking for some God outside of us when he's right there with us.
They got us asking each other, all where we don't have no confidence in ourselves.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
That's the whole thing.
When we questioning ourselves, we doubting ourselves. We got the answer. We be knowing. You know what I'm talking about. You know how you be knowing.
Oh, yeah. It's just an affirmation, reformation, whatever they call it.
At one point in time, we didn't need affirmation from nobody. You went with what you knew. Whatever the consequence was, you went with what you knew. But what was the benefit of that? The benefit is that you was gaining confidence and love for you. Your individuality. You see? If I take you away from your individuality and have you chasing me, the God in you will never rise.
Thank you for that. Appreciate it much.
My show and trying to memorize what I say, the God in you will never rise.
That makes sense.
Until I stop doing that shit, till I start talking like this. You see?
It's trial and error, though.
That's why they say the highest principle is love. It ain't love or nothing else. It's the love, unconditional love of yourself. No matter what condition you're going through, you still love you. You still got confidence in you. You still believe in your ability to provide, to love, to share, to do whatever you want to do. You know you can do it, so can't nothing stop you. That's what the power comes from. Then you start having pride in your ancestry. You start calling on them, no matter what they fucking look like. You don't care what they look like. What kind of heart?
Just send me that assistance. Send me that assistance.
Did they have? Did they help people? Did they help beings? Because if they had a helping heart, they'd help you. But if they had a hard heart, you ain't. How somebody or some being that got a hard heart want to help you? It what it takes from you.
Mm-hmm.
looking for an easy way out. It don't want to do no work. It don't want to trade, barter and trade. It just wants you to give you its energy. I mean, your energy. It ain't giving you nothing.
Yeah.
He almost like a rapper up there rapping like Jay-Z. He barely moves. He ain't gonna give you that much, but you done pay about $800 to him. He ain't even gonna sweat. But for real, you ain't never seen Jay-Z sweat.
Yeah.
That's why they call him a god. Because he know how to what? MC, command the crowd, a master of ceremony. Meaning he know how to drain your energy and keep his.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
use yours.
He know how to drain your energy and keep his.
Wow.
I ain't mad at him. I congratulate. I ain't hate. I congratulate. That's a mouth.
Yeah, you know his science.
He know his science. He know his science.
Yeah, that's a beautiful thing. It's better to know than not know.
You feel me? So, that's what he's doing. See, but look what we just said. He knew his science. We ain't say Jay-Z knew the science. We say he knew his science.
Yeah.
So I want you to know your science. I don't want you to know. Because if you know my science, you ain't bringing nothing new to the table. How we going to keep growing? I can't know it all. I don't want to know it all. I just want to know what I know, what I'm good at. See, I'm good with energy. I'm an electrician by trade. That's all I do. I go out, wire shit up, lights.
That's what I'm getting into right now. I got my book right over here, right next to me right now.
You feel me? So that's what I'm talking about, a trade. What's a trade? Trade wins. It's a power. So when you jump into getting a trade, guess what? Now you sovereign. You sovereign. What does that mean? You
self-sufficient.
You know you're a solution. You're a solution. That's what self-sufficient is. You're a solution to every problem that you got. You come up with a solution. You breathe answers.
Wow. Yeah.
So that's what we talking about, man. We talking about the magnetic spirit. How do you become magnetic? How do you attract? It's a science to it. It's a cycle. It's an in and out. It's an in key, out key. In key. I just gave y'all the codex for in key. In key, out key. In and out. Stop thinking positive. Anywhere where there's a positive, it's still a positive negative.
There's a negative.
Anywhere there's a negative, it's still a negative positive. Because it has to be able to come in and out. It has to be able to turn off and on. It has to have a sensor. A network. When they create a network, they create a system to where if one part of it go down, it can switch over and go to the other. It never shuts down.
Alternating current.
You can work on it from different parts. From all you don't have to just go to one part. No, they don't have to go to your house to turn your damn stuff off no more. They can do it from a command center that's right, probably 2 or 3 miles from your neighborhood. And then that command center is hooked to one downtown. And then that one is hooked to another one in another state. And then that one's hooked to a central office.
Yeah.
So when I'm showing y'all this Dendera chart that I got on the screen right now, and I got the body going through it, and I got the directions going through it, and it's making a diamond, what else do you need? See, we keep trying to recreate the wheel instead of learning the wheel. Why are you trying to recreate how to drive when you can just learn how to drive? Everybody's driving in a certain order. You don't go fast if you learn that way.
Yeah.
This is what this chart is showing you, how not to crash, how not to let your particles smash into each other, how they run in and out, how you can mutate, how you can tap into the power of the fish, How you can tap into the power of the panther. How you can tap into the power of the eagle or the hawk. And still be at the same time.
Wow. Wow.
This is what we do.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what we do. Why you think we so fluent in everything? How you think you can dip in and out? You know, you be dipping in and out of fashion. You be dipping in and out of women. You be dipping in and out of money. You be dipping in and out.
Yeah.
We in and out. Anunnaki.
Wow.
Anu means a new being. A new. You new. You ain't old.
Wow.
A new. A Nubian.
It's all in the language, man.
A Nubian. A new being. We pop out new realities, bro. We bring in the fresh, the new. Anu.
Wow.
What is Naki? See, people say Naki. It ain't no Naki. It's Nagi. N-A-Q or G-G-I. Naki. Naga. Nigga. Look up what a Naga is, and you're going to see a fish, humanoid being with dreads or snakes in the head. Medusa. Nigga use a
wow.
That's a fairy being. That ain't no damn serpent. That's a bee. That's why they call her the queen bee. I brought the knowledge of the bees. I'm telling you what it is. Look up. Look how bees communicate. If you watch the video, they're going to show you how bees move, and you're going to see the Merkaba, you're going to see the six-pointer star, you're going to see how a whole cycle. And then you tell me what
wow.
You tell me what my is. Don't bees live in trees? By the stumps of trees, and brown and all of that, and top of trees? Okay. You're a fairy bee. You are in a quantum field right now. You are super small. Somebody convinced you that you are large. Go up in a plane, you can't see nothing down here. Tell me how big
That's true.
Wow.
I've seen some ancient giant trees, and they said it looked like mountains, but they're not mountains. They were talking about they were petrified trees.
Them was regular trees back in the day.
Those were huge. Yeah, we look like ants. So like, what happened? What strength everything when those?
No, because you're in the third dimension. You have to be small. You was in the third dimension. Think about a tree. Think about if it started at zero at the ground, zero's ground. You go up 1 foot or 2 foot, or however. If you only at 3, you right there by the knee. You knee high. Training wheels. Third, tricycle, triune, trinity, tricycle. You a baby. We at the baby stage. We ain't even broke through out of the mama's vagina yet. When you come out your mama's vagina, you're going to be in fucking Egypt and you're going to be a giant.
Wow.
You going through training to go there.
Yeah, definitely.
Right now, existing right now, you're in what's called a sunken place. You're below the navel. Look at the chart. You ain't even came out your mama's vagina yet. When you be born again, when you come out, when this experience is over, when this dream is over, when you come out of the third dimension, you come in the 5th, 6th, or 7th, you're going to come out of a woman's vagina. You're going to be crying. Ah! You might remember a little bit of this.
Wow.
And I guarantee you're going to be in Egypt. Watch. Because you're the descendants of those beings.
You know what I mean?
The seed of them. And that reality ain't went nowhere. So when you come out, if you look at this chart, I don't know if you can see it, but when you come out that vagina where that goddess is sitting right there, you coming out of the 4th, 5th dimension, the 6th dimension will be at the navel. You get it? And that's where you sitting in your mama's stomach, ain't you? These things come out, and you're going to come out and damn in a whole nother dimension or reality because you can't die. Consciousness can't. Light can't die. Energy can't die.
Energy don't die.
Different forms.
That's all.
The thing is different.
I mean, amen.
That's true.
That's true.
I mean,
amen.
definitely true. Amun Ra, actually. But they robbing us, but it's all good though.
Yeah,
Not really.
We ain't gonna try to make it seem like you talking about me, because you ain't. You talking about yourself. Every cell in Amun Ra or Amun Ray is called your solar plexus. Your solar chakra. That's your light chakra. That's your sun.
Yeah.
Okay? So,
yes, sir.
This ain't no ego thing. This ain't about me. This is about us. This is about we. We all are the descendants. I'm talking about the ones who resonate with this message. Everybody ain't coming from the same descendants. Creation ain't
Everybody can't go for the ride.
Well, creation ain't that boring. You know what I'm saying? Creation ain't that boring. Look around you. It's millions and trillions of different looking things or species. You don't think that's reflected throughout all of creation? It's the same thing as above, so below. So within, so without.
Wow.
All is the all. It means it's the all. All of it. Man, I love this stuff, bro. I love this stuff because it's really but it's home.
Well, I'm trying to get acclimated. So, man, it's about time, man. 59 years, almost 60 years, but better late than never. Because some people may never get it.
As long as you got it.
If I come back, it'll be by my choice.
As long as you got it, it don't matter when you get it.
Yeah.
Because you know why?
Yeah.
Last point of this cycle, we at the end.
Yeah.
We at the end of one, and another.
Yeah. Yep.
So a lot of us who's getting up or in the ages, it depends. Because some stuff been done. We done some things. So man might live a little longer now. We're going to see. I can't say, but I know we done did some work and some shit different. I know that. I don't know how different. Ain't no deity came down and told me exactly what's going to happen. But I know we done did some things because I helped to do it. So we done did some things that's going to be different. I don't know how it's going to play out, but it's going to play out for the better.
Yes. Better than what it could be, than what it was.
Better than what it was heading. It's definitely going to be better than what it was heading. So,
because right now this stuff is depressing, man. Just trying to raise myself right now.
It's very, but that's all right because we didn't give up.
Yeah, true that.
We didn't give up. When we didn't give up, we had a breakthrough. Eventually, we was going to break through. One of us to break through. Because we all connected. So that means if one of us was able to turn the clock of destiny in our favor, it's going to help us turn the favor for all of us. We're all one, bro. Women, men, hetero, hermaphrodite, we all one. I'm talking about
one big happy family. Stop discriminating, right?
I'm talking about this family now, because everybody ain't the same family.
Yeah, that's true too.
Everybody ain't the same family. I ain't saying everybody don't come from the same source of origin.
Yeah.
But that source of origin put different versions of itself, different individualized versions of itself out in intervals of time. You see what I'm saying? It's no different than when you have babies. If you got 7 or 8 or 9 or 10 different children, you ain't have them all simultaneously. But they all got your DNA in them.
Yeah.
And neither one of them looking like. I don't care if they're twins. It's the same thing.
Pretty much,
Work the same way. So so each child that you had, it has children too, though. And those children become families, individual families. Each one of those children have their own children, which become individual families.
True.
So it ain't the same family.
No, yes, you're absolutely right.
So
and they're going to be different.
right. So over time, those brothers or sisters, as their children, they will start to differentiate from each other by just the process of differentiation. Over time, they're going to look more and more different, right? Because why? The DNA is spreading thinner and thinner. It's like paint.
Yeah, change. Wow.
The older the paint get, the more you start mixing other paints with it, the weaker the paint get. It loses original color.
Yeah.
And becomes something different. Over time. That's what has happened throughout the multiverse. But then there comes a time where things start to condense or come back together. From when you break apart, there's those invisible cords and strings. Here goes the magnetic sphere. There's a path that it wraps back around and heads the opposite direction back to the source, like water. All water returns back to the what? Ocean.
To the source.
To the source.
Yeah.
It may go the long way, but eventually it get back there. So anybody else got anything else? If not, man, we'll get ready to shut this thing down. We don't want to make it too long.
All right. I appreciate the information.
Oh yeah, man, it was just a build, and I like to build like that. I like to have conversations because a lot of times you get more out of it. Because we can bring it more practical instead of making everything sound so educational. I like to share. I don't like to teach.
I hear that. It's a beautiful thing.
Body, because they got just as much to offer as me, and the conversation that they give me is going to cause me to trigger things that I wouldn't have said if I was just talking about myself, and vice versa.
That's a beautiful thing.
So yeah, I encourage more conversation in these videos coming up next. We're not going to stop making them. Like I told everybody, you believe it if you don't. If you resonate with it, if you don't, that's an individual choice. We don't get mad about things like that. But as far as what I know, we got about 7 years to get ourselves together. And after short time, we supposed to get the hell off this space. Okay. That's what I do.
All right.
So,
on Fridays? On Fridays, do y'all have this conference call on every Friday at this time?
I don't know how we're gonna be doing it. The best thing to do, man, to be honest, is to make sure you have the Telegram app. Get on.
What's the Telegram app? Is that the mooresnews.com?
She has a channel on there, and I have a channel on there, the Prism of Ra, and a few other one of us that's associated. You know, we all work together. We have a book section where we have recommend books. The Empress and a few other brothers and sisters, they have a nation building platform to where we all right. And I'm about to bring a lot of stuff to the table too, because I'm actually a junior chief of one of the tribes in America. So we have a lot of resources and a lot of things that people that are members of that tribe, man. It's over 500,000 names, last names.
Whoa.
For the original road. And I'm talking about names like Watkins and White and Smith. You know what I mean? The names that you thought were European names, they're not. These are native indigenous names that have been changed around slightly. Like Washington is Washita. You know what I mean?
Yeah. All right, the nation.
Like that, right, they take the name. They don't change it that much. They anglicize it. They just change the angle of it slightly. But the name and the core is still the same. So we have all those names. You know,
definitely. They are names.
Those are our names. So the Crown Prince inherited through his mother all of that from the Queen of this country. And the Queen, which her name was Lady Luke Liberty Pamuki. So if you look at Lady Luke Liberty Pamuki, or you look at the Pamuki Indians, you're not going to find a lot. But that was the first original federal recognized tribe in America because that was the first tribe that when the pink man came over here that they had to deal with in Jamestown, rural North Carolina.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so that's the tribe that I'm a part of. Now, what you'll find out that most people in America is a part of this tribe because this tribe is, when you extend it out, is part of what they call the Powhatan. So the Powhatan.
The who?
Powhatan.
Oh, okay.
Or Powhatan, some people pronounce it. Powhatan or Powhatan, that was Queen Anna, which you'll hear referred to, or Lady Liberty. That was her husband. Now, Lady Liberty, who I'm talking about, that's Pocahontas' mother.
Ooh.
So if you ever heard the story of Pocahontas, and they try to make so
yeah,
much
briefly from Tasha McBeth, yeah. Yeah, they murdered her? Yeah.
It's so prominent, and they try to make a joke is just to throw you off, because Pocahontas' mama was actually the empress of America, Canada, Scotland, France, Australia, and a few other countries. That's how big.
Wow.
Right.
Wow.
So Lady Liberty, the one who they got the Statue of Liberty of, was that?
Yeah.
That's a fake statue because she don't look like this. She's a black woman or a melanated woman, Native Indigenous woman. She actually married after her husband died, Powhatan. After he passed, she married King Charles of Spain.
Yeah, and they murdered her, right?
No, not the mother. What happened is nobody knows what really happened to Pocahontas. Her daughter, once the mother died, they took the daughter over in England some damn where. She got missing. That's how they sold the
wow.
They took her over there. They married her off to one of those pink jokers over there. And that's how they stole the estate.
Wow.
So you get it? That's how they stole the estate.
Yeah.
But her estate is the largest estate in the world. So most people don't know. They take this for a joke. They take what I say for a joke. I even put my ID online one time to show these non-thinkers, non-sayers, trying to give them a gift, because this ain't mine. It ain't mine just for me. Trying to show them.
Wow.
Ask them, look, bro. Look, lady. I'm sitting on, or we're sitting on, the largest estate in the world. That's why they keep telling us, dumb niggas over here, we the richest people.
And that's why they robbing us for it.
That's
Just
why
why.
they robbing us. That's why they keeping us over here. That's why they protecting us. Because we are
Birthright
the owners
theft
of the largest estate in the world. And I keep trying to turn people on to it. And guess what they do? Oh, man, that sounds nice.
Just information for them.
Down there at the store.
They
They don't even make sense, brother. They don't even look at it.
Yeah. Well, hey, it's a damn shame, but if they lost.
Go ahead. It don't matter to me.
Yeah, you did your job.
To it from a mustard seed of faith. I didn't know nothing about this. This is what they call or the Great American Secret, or the Great Masonic Secret.
Yep.
It's all about Queen Anna or Lady Liberty. Lady Liberty. Look her up. Look up Pamunkey Indians, and you'll find the story. Look up Pocahontas.
Can you say that again?
Queen Anna.
Wow.
That's all you got to
say
look
that again?
Queen Anna. That's all you got to look up. Queen Anna.
A-N-N-A?
Yes.
A-N-N-A?
Yes. Anna. Or the Pamunkey Indians. P-A-M-U-N-K-E-Y. Pamunkey. Once you look that up, you're going to run into the gold mine. And you ain't going to find a lot on it. You're not going to find a lot on it. You're going to have to dig deep to really find it. But if you dig deep, you're going to find
it's there.
Scotland. You're going to find the story of North America, South. You're going to find some stories you never thought you would find. Because I didn't. I didn't know nothing. I found nothing about it.
So you once was blind, but now you see, huh?
From a mustard seed of faith, from watching Taj, Tariq, and all them brothers, and all that information about, about sovereign and all this and Moors and all of that. And I just acted on it. I got tired of seeing so much stuff and overwhelming proof. I made a phone call one day.
Yeah.
I made a phone call to somebody who I knew a little bit more than me. And when I talked to him, I said, bro, man, I want to file some paper. I want to do something. I'm just tired of watching all this stuff. And it's this and it's that, and I ain't doing that. I want to do something. So he said,
yeah.
I said, yeah. So he called a brother named Sabir on Freeway. A brother named Sabir I knew of a club that he had a long time ago. He was from the islands. He sounded real nice, real, humble, gentle, very intelligent. He was like, yeah. He was like, oh, let me call Crown Prince, because I told him the same thing. I said, man, I just want to do something. He said, let me call Crown Prince. I knew who Crown Prince was. He called Crown Prince on Freeway. Next thing you know, Crown Prince started telling me about all this stuff that I'm telling you about, but way more detail. Way more detail. Way more detail. He knows what really going to happen. Now, Crown Prince is a direct descendant of Nova Drew Ali.
Wow. Wow.
Empress Verdi Asibe, the one who actually went.
I heard of her. Besides mentioned her, I heard of her.
Okay, that's his aunt. That's his mama's sister.
Wow. Direct. Wow. So at least somebody.
Home, Virginia out there. He got 3,000 acres. This dude owns West Point. You see what I'm talking about? He got the paperwork of the queen. He got it.
Good.
So I ain't talking about no fallacies. I ain't talking about no hypothetical situations. I'm not talking about something that's in the process of getting done. I'm talking about stuff that's already done.
Good.
We have a tribal government operating. This shit been operating for 100 years.
That's wow. So I mean,
yeah, I didn't even know.
So I just looked up upon you guys today. So it's just like it was meant to be. But wow, man, because telling you, a lot of people out there starving for information, but man, you don't hear it, man. I just so happened to type in some information, and the sister sent me something, and that's how I got onto the channel today.
Well,
but
divine faith, divine or the line, as I say.
I mean, true that. I mean, right.
That's quantum entanglement at its finest. Meaning you are where you're supposed to be now.
At this place in time.
Because it's only always now. So anybody else got anything? Anybody else want to chime in? Got anything to say before we close out? Because we're going to keep this thing jumping now. I'm back in the spirit of sharing. I took a break so I can download or upload. I don't like to say download, upload from the core. Something you bring forth. Y'all know I don't like redundancy. I don't like to be repeating what other people are saying because I'm not watching other people. Sometimes I do it from entertainment or just to keep my spirit in a certain space-time continuum. But other than that, bring something different, something new to the table every time so we can bring the light and enlighten everyone from within. Turn on your own personal light. You have a light inside of you. Turn it on. We're turning it on. Let's get it.
Let's get busy.
The Empress, you want to close this out?
Yes. I just had my phone on mute, but again, thank you so much, Brother Ra-N-Ell.
Thank you for everything, Brother Ra.
Thank you y'all for listening.
Absolutely, and I'm gonna be reaching out to you so we can do another one. And basically, everybody just learn and go within. Do what the brother is saying. Stop listening to just everybody else. Do what resonates with you, and you're not gonna know unless you try to kind of go within and learn.
Listen to yourself. Build your own confidence up. Build your God body up.
Yes, make yourself a believer.
You are it. You are it. You are what you've been waiting for.
You are the hero. You
are the hero. You are the Heru. You know what I'm saying? You are the Ra. You are the Satuk. You are the Aset. You are the Isis. Whatever names and titles, but it's in you. Unlock it. Let it free. Stop being scared. of yourself. You can't hurt you. What you are is unbreakable. Only thing you can do is lose you for a while until you find yourself again, but you can't break.
We don't die.
You know what I'm saying? Take some chances. Jump out there a little bit. Have some fun with this.
Definitely that.
Yeah, have some fun with it, man. Dance with it. Spit it. Play with it. Twist it. Whatever you do out of mistake, it's going to correct itself. There are things that I said the last take that I'm saying something different now. Why? I'm critiquing. I'm always self-perfecting. You got to keep maintenance in a damn car, don't you? You got to keep putting spark plugs and gas and changing your oil and tires and washing it and vacuuming out and, running it hard sometimes, running it soft, letting it idle. Don't you got to always do that to a car to keep it performing? What do you think you got to do to self?
Yeah, pretty much. No difference.
No different. You got to maintenance. You got to change the spark plugs, the oil. You got to change the wheels. You got to filter. You know what I'm saying? You got to work it, man. If you don't use it, you will lose it.
Yeah, pretty much.
It's like not bending and not stretching. If you don't stretch, you're going to get tight. So I came on here to do mental, spiritual, soul gymnastics.
Thank you for that. Appreciate it.
I'm just freestyle. I'm just wild. I'm just having fun. I'm just letting it out. You know what I'm saying? This is a release.
Yeah,
and I don't care if everything I said was wrong. It felt good.
And that's very important, making it feel good, man.
It felt good. It was fun.
Yeah.
So
I had a serious day today.
You know what I'm saying? I got confidence. If everything I said was wrong, bro, it don't matter. We ain't got to be right all the time. For what? It ain't fun being right all the time. Don't you want to get busted in the head sometimes when somebody show you and say something to you that just make you like, dang, I ain't never thought about that. Boy, I learned something. That make you feel good.
Yeah.
Because you got humbled. You thought you knew something, but somebody humbled you and gave you something more or a different perspective that you never would have considered.
Wow.
That should be something
beautiful
to make you feel good, not to make you feel bad or make you feel like you're in competition with somebody. We ain't in no competition with each other, man.
Knives sharpens knives.
Knives sharpens knives. I love you said that.
That mean.
So, man, I'm going to get on up out of here, goddesses and goddess, creators and creatresses, devils and devettes, because we got that in this too. Do not deny the devil too. You ain't God if you ain't the devil. You gotta be both.
You're both.
Yin and yang.
Right. Polarity.
So sometimes you need the devil to get a joke off of you.
Yeah. There's a time and place for everything.
There's a time and place for everything. But you do not want to be the devil every day.
That's right.
You don't want to be the devil most of the day.
That's right.
The devil is like a gun. You put the gun in the safe or you put it somewhere. You don't pull that gun out unless it's an emergency. Because if you know you carry that gun with you all the time, you're going to use it.
Yep.
You feel me? So you don't carry the devil with you everywhere you go. Because why? You're going to snap on everybody. Ain't nobody going to like you. Can't nobody get along with you. Biggest narcissist. You think you know it all. You want all the attention. And you find yourself alone at the end of the day. Over there in the corner somewhere alone, looking for attention, looking for a crowd, and everybody going and left your dumb ass. Because that's how it norms. Well, I'm gonna close on out with that, y'all. And we're gonna this thing gonna be on replay. It's gonna be on video. You can watch as many times you want. You can break it down. You can dissect it. You can inverse it, reverse it. Do whatever you want to do with it. You ain't got to listen to it. You can throw it out, chew it all. You can wipe your butt with it. But at the end of the day, it's done.
I mean, right.
It's going to do what it do.
I mean.
And sister, with
thank
that,
you.
we're going to sign on out. We're going to call it a night. We're going to link back up real soon, and we're going to come with another one. The next videos, I think I'm going to do something interactive. We're going to get into some dancing. We're going to get into some moves. Because we got to start understanding that this thing is a little bit more simpler than we think. It's really about dancing and singing.
Say that again?
It's really about dancing and singing.
Woo! Yeah, that brings about some good things.
There you go.
Transform you.
It's about what? Rhythm.
Yep.
Okay?
Yep.
Where does singing come from? From within.
Yeah.
Okay?
Different vibrations.
So we're waking up the God body by our tradition. We're people of singing and dance. We ain't
definitely.
No movies. They television. We're people of the show. You used to come to the show. You used to be out there and watch us stomp our feet, creating vibrations, sending sound, dust particles, air, moving, making it rain.
In a good way. In a good way.
Yeah, all of it good. I go to the strip club today if I had the money.
Me too.
All of us good. All of us need it.
Bring back that vibration, man.
Sisters in there working hard. I got much respect for them.
I mean.
That's an art.
Yeah.
Try to get our fat, weak ass up on that pole and try to go all the way up there, click your heels and do all that, and watch how many groins you pull by the time, how many muscles in your neck you pull by the time you hit the floor. You might drop from way up there and fall down and break your damn neck.
Wind up with a stroke.
Trying to do with them goddesses. You don't even know that is an art. That's magic, what they doing.
Oof.
And you'll know it's magic when your heart's broken, you ain't got no woman, and you sad, and you touched by a woman, and you need to go in there, and one of them spend a little bit of time with you, and you go home, and you feel good, you wake up the next day, and you're able to go to work.
Yeah, feel like $1 million bucks.
Healing, and you thought you were going in there on some lust. Nah, that chick just healed you.
True that. We all need it right now these times, boy. Woo! Need a distant place to go and chill, yeah?
There's one thing that didn't shut down in COVID, I guarantee. That was a strip club.
Take yourself some silver colada and go on in there, huh?
I ain't let nobody disrespect my sister. Hell no.
I hear that.
You know what I'm saying? I don't care what they're doing. Everything they're doing is divine. What it tell you in the Bible about the whore? Going to heaven and the other joker what? I don't know the story, but you done heard it.
But the first one who ain't do no wrong cast the first stone.
You see what I'm saying? So a lot of the concepts that we have are upside down, backwards, inside out. Standing on righteousness, we know.
Wow.
Well, let me close out with that, y'all. Let me go on up out of here because I can talk for hours.
Love, light, and peace. Thank you very much, brother.
No problem.
Peace and blessings.
Love and light. Peace and blessings to everybody. Peace and blessings.
Peace and blessings to everybody.
Peace and blessings. Good night.
I hope those who was waiting for the Ra show got their show.
Thank you, Brother Ra. We'll talk to you soon.
All right, I'm going to chime
Thank you.
Out, y'all. Ashe.
Ashe.